The biceps curl is a single joint upper body exercise. This video demonstrates the exercise being performed using a set of dumbbells. In the starting position, hold the dumbbells with a closed supinated grip. Elbows should be fully extended with the dumbbells resting on the front of the thighs. The elbows and upper arms should touch the sides of the torso. The athlete should stand tall with core tight, knees slightly bent, and feet shoulder width apart. In the upward movement phase, exhale and flex the elbows to raise the dumbbells towards the front of the shoulders while keeping the upper arms stationary and core tight. As you use heavier dumbbells or a barbell, avoid swinging the weights or the bar upward or jerking the back. In the downward movement phase, inhale while slowly lowering the dumbbells back to the starting position with the elbows fully extended and dumbbells resting at the front of the thighs. The core should remain tight throughout the entirety of the exercise. The athlete should avoid bouncing the dumbbells on the thighs between repetitions.
The back squat is a staple of almost every athlete's resistance training program. This exercise develops power and strength in the major muscles of the legs and hips, as well as reinforcing a good stable body position throughout. During this video, we will break the back squat into three major phases: the downward movement, bottom position, and upward movement. There are two starting positions. In this demo, we'll be showing the high bar position. Begin by grabbing the bar with a closed pronated grip and placing the bar across the back, settling the bar above the posterior deltoids with a grip slightly wider than the shoulders. When the bar is in place, hold the chest up and out, extend the hips and knees to lift the bar out of the rack. Place your feet shoulder width apart and your toes slightly pointed outward. During the downward movement, maintain the body position with the chest out and core tight. Then begin to allow the knees and hips to slowly flex, keeping the knees aligned with the toes, and continue to lower the bar until the thighs are parallel with the floor. At the bottom of the squat, the athlete could begin to round the spine over, or the heels may begin to lift. The athlete needs to maintain the position and then begin the upward motion. During the upward movement and still maintaining the chest out, neutral spine, elbow high position, the athlete should extend the hip and knee at the same rate and keep the knees aligned with the toes and return to the starting position. Here we will see the athlete begin, work through, and finish set, and then re-rack the weights. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the technique of the back squat. The bench press, a common exercise among all gym goers and a great upper body exercise to increase the strength and power of the chest and arms. During this video, we will show the common technique for the bench press. It can be broken down into the starting position, downward motion, and upward motion. When getting into the starting position for the bench, the athlete needs to lie down on the bench so that the athlete's eyes are underneath the racked bar. Then grab the bar with a closed pronated grip that is slightly wider than the shoulders. After in position, make sure you maintain the points of contact before, during, and after the lift until the weight is racked. The points of contact refers to the head set firmly against the bench, scapulas and shoulder blades contracted together and on the bench, as well as the athlete's glutes and feet. The glutes should remain in contact with the bench throughout the lift, and both feet should stay firmly in place on the floor. After in the proper stable body position, move the bar to over the chest with extended elbows. For the downward motion of the bench press, you should lower the bar by flexing at the elbows. Continue to lower the bar until it reaches the chest at about nipple level. Throughout this position, remember to maintain the points of contact. These points of contact should be maintained throughout the entire lift. The upward movement should begin after the bar has touched the chest. The athlete should push the bar up and slightly backwards towards the rack. The athlete should continue to push until the elbows are fully extended. During this motion, it is key for the athlete to keep a stiff wrist and maintain the points of contact. At this point, the athlete may begin to arch the back or lose a point of contact. After a set, return the bar back to the rack until over the supports. Flex the elbows until the bar is supported by the hooks.
The cycled split squat jump is a great high-intensity, lower body plyometric drill, which involves jumping and landing in the same spot. Jumps in place emphasize the vertical component of jumping and are performed repeatedly without rest between jumps. The time between jumps is the stretch-shortening cycle's amortization phase. In this demo, we will look at the starting position followed by the upward and downward movement of this jump. Starting position. Get into a lunge position with one leg forward. The hip and knee joints will be flexed approximately 90 degrees while the other leg is behind the midline of the body. The arms can be in a double arm position. The upward movement. This drill begins with a counter movement leading into an explosive jump up using the arms to assist if necessary. While off the ground, switch the position of the legs, maximizing height and power. The downward movement. When landing, maintain the lunge position, opposite leg forward, and immediately repeat the jump. The power shrug is an explosive movement that starts with your feet and ankles, travels up the body to the knees and hips, and finishes through the shoulders. Each repetition of this exercise should be explosive, but controlled and using good form. This exercise is good for building the muscles of the upper back and shoulders, primarily the traps. In the starting position, the feet should be slightly within shoulder width in an athletic stance, holding the bar with the double overhand grip. The feet will remain flat, knees should not go out over the toes, and the chest should be up. Lower into a quarter squat position, keeping the chest and core tight. The bar will remain in line with the ankles, hips, and shoulders. The upward movement. Drive up through your feet, knees, and hips out of the squat position as you forcefully shrug the bar. Lower the bar back to a quarter squat position, keeping it in line with the ankles, hips, and shoulders. Be sure to maintain an athletic posture throughout the entire movement.